Ooh, what's happening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well, having a great one out there. Today we are going to listen to the EP Spiral Scratch from Buzzcocks. We've listened to some Buzzcocks before, and we're going to dive into this. It's their first release, released in 1977, January 29th. We're listening to this because it is sponsored. Hold on, let me pull up your name. I got to pull up your name, Mr. Brad. This is sponsored by Mr. Brad, so thank you so much for the support and for suggesting this. I also see that it was recommended by Mr. Radiohauser, Philip Boakes, MK, Eric, MK again, Farnley, TYAS, Cosmic Cat recommended or mentioned this one, Drumming Vulture as well, Lord of the Hornets, Brewster Gallery, a lot of people, Paris Simmons, Inside Bilderberg, and Paris Simmons again. So thank you guys so much for the recommendation, for the suggestion on this one. I may as well go the intro. I forgot to even do that. So, like I said, we've listened to some Buzzcocks before, and I think they're kind of one of the first punk bands that I covered here that I really enjoyed their sound. So, curious to see where it all began with this one, Spiral Scratch. They all just look like they're just chilling there on the album cover. They're just chilling. They're just relaxing. So, let's go ahead and open it up. It's only a 10-minute EP, their first release here. Opening up with the first track, Breakdown. Let's go ahead and dive on in.
I'm a little jittery, I can't restrain myself. I'm falling into fancy practice, can't contain myself. I'm gonna break down, I'm gonna break it down, yes. I'm gonna break down, I'm gonna break it down, yes. Now I can stand austerity, but it gets a little much when there's all these favorite things that you never get a touch. I gotta break down, I gotta break it down, yes.
His voice.
I gotta break down, I gotta break it down, yes. Anticipating revelry. I take a living senses and I'm in arrears. The next buckle over, I'm living on running. I'll break it down, yes. I'm gonna break it down, yes. I gotta break it down, yes.
I like the drumming though.
And whatever makes me sick, it takes away my concentration. It's just a hazard trembling, it gave me frustration. I break down, I gotta break it down, yes.
And that part's kind of catchy when it comes in. That part's catchy.
So I hear my story's company. For me it's plenty trouble, though my double thoughts are clearer now that I'm seeing double. I break down. I'm gonna break it down, yes. You gotta break down. I gotta break it down, yes. I'm not gonna go out of what's too big for me. I'll give out the goals before it gives up me. I wanna load it as a kind of
quick on the snares. Man, it's punk. What do you know? All right, I love the drumming in there, especially the snares and how quick those fills are on the snares. The snares can be performed by John Mayer on there, and I just like the quick ones. Like the drum beat itself is what I would expect from punk. The da 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 da. It's like fast. It's up tempo. But those quick fills on the snare are just really tasty, really snappy. They just kind of pop off really nicely. Okay, Howard Devoto. We've heard him in future bands, right? We've heard him in other songs and stuff. But here, man, does he sound so young. His voice is so light. It's almost too light for what I'm kind of hearing and expecting from the band. And it took me a second, because I will admit, in the first 20 or so seconds when he kind of started, I didn't really like his voice. It was I need some grit. I need some depth. But as it went on, I was kind of won over, especially because of his delivery. The delivery, which is so snarky and he's just spitting off. And then when it gets into that very memorable, and then a breakdown, it kind of adds this catchiness into the midst of this track, which I really enjoyed. So even though at first I didn't really care for his voice, the actual delivery of it really kept me engaged. I really like that, especially like I said, that moment where it comes out. Da 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 da. That's very catchy. Yeah, good opening track. Let's take a look at the lyrics here on this one. If I see him a little jittery, I can't restrain myself. I like that, right? I'm sorry. If I seem a little jittery, I can't restrain myself. I'm falling into fancy fragments, can't contain myself. I'm gonna break down, yes. Now I can stand austerity, but it gets a little much. When there's all these livid things that you never get to touch, I'm gonna break down. I feel my brain like porridge coming out of my ears, and I was anticipating reverie. I've taken leave of me senses, and I'm in arrears. My legs buckle over, and now I'm living on my knees. Break down, yes, I'm gonna break down. So all these things, life is just getting to him, breaking him down little by little. Whatever makes me tick, it takes away my concentration, sets my hands a trembling, gives me frustration. So I hear that too is company, for me it's plenty trouble, though my double thoughts are clearer now that I'm seeing double. This is a great line. Like when I see him saying, though my double thoughts are now clearer, I think of like, when you think of something, perhaps you make a decision, and then maybe like a few moments pass, you've made your decision, it's set in stone, and then later that night you're laying in bed and you're saying, ooh, I should have said this, or I should have done that. I'm kind of reading it like that, but I like how he says, those double thoughts are clearer, that he's seeing double. Oh, Mum, can I grow out of what's too big for me? I'll give up that ghost before it gives up me. I wander loaded as a crowd, a nowhere wolf of pain, living next to nothing, my never mind remains. A breakdown, yes, I'm going to break down. He's living next to nothing, and his never mind remains. His only thing that remains is his mind, which apparently is not necessarily never there, but kind of dismissive in a sense. Let's move on to the next track, which is Time's Up. Here we go. Oh, that's an angry riff.
I've been waiting at the supermarket, I'm standing in line with the beans. I've been waiting at the post office for sticky pictures of the Queen. And now I'm waiting for you to get yourself good and ready. I'm thinking to myself, is this what they mean? Burger and steady. I've been waiting in the waiting room, and I've been sitting in the sitting room, and now I'm waiting in the dining room. I'm waiting for you, it's like I'm waiting for a man in the moon.
I like that riff.
I was really small, received a pack of 40 king-size cigarettes. Stood up, been hanging around in the murder, but if you just come along, I'd have no regrets. Give up. So I phone your number, but your mother tells me you're still in bed. Get up. When you get to the phone, your voice is thick and sexy, goes straight to my head. Hang up. Well, I've been standing in the standing room.
The lines are funny.
Well, I've been smoking in the smoking room. And now I'm down in the living room. I wanna forget what I came for here real soon. I said your time's up, me too.
Hitting the right.
I'm out on account of you. Time's up, me too. I'm out on account of you. The time's up, me too. And I'm out on account of you. Time's up, and me too. And I'm out on account of you. Yes, I was put out as sold in the front and back of 80 king-size cigarettes.
His delivery is just fast. I love that side call.
Creep along and have no regrets. And so I call your grandmother. She says you're still in bed. When you get to the phone, your voice is thick and sexy. Shoots through the top of my head. Shut up. And I've been standing in the standing room. And I've been smoking in the smoking room. And now I'm down the living room. I'm gonna forget where I came for here real soon.
It's cool to hear like the beginnings here.
There's the
rights on the chorus.
Your time's up. Alright, so
It's kind of interesting to hear like with Buzzcocks and specifically Howard at this stage, because I'm used to like hearing him like in later Buzzcocks and in Magazine, where like there's a certain refinement in, of course, where his career developed, specifically like later on, and of course the rest of the Buzzcocks as well. But it's kind of interesting to come back here because like I can't help but hear that his voice is so young, and like, you know, later on he would get a little bit more grit, but the delivery is still there. The delivery was there apparently from the very beginning, because even in here his quick delivery is snappy. It's off the top of the head. I love the way that like someone else in the band, I couldn't tell you who, but someone else in the band kind of responds in his calls in each of the lines, like in the lyrics when he says, you know, I've been waiting at the supermarket standing in line with the beans, cash up. And I love that little response to each of those lines, kind of accenting what he's saying previously, which is really, really well. Once again, the drums are great. That guitar riff, though, is very angry. Very, very angry. And the whole track kind of sings and sounds of teenage angst. I don't know how old he was in recording this, or how old the band was, I guess, in recording this. I mean, they look very young. I'm just trying to find really quick to see if I can find that. Howard Devoto in 2025, yeah, is 73. This album came out in 77. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't even know why I started that, because I'm horrible with that kind of math. I don't even know why I tried. Let me try Googling it. Let me see. Maybe I can use Google to help me out. How old was Howard Devoto in 1977? About 25 years old. Okay, that's me using. I almost pressed the wrong button. That's me using Google to do that. So about 25 years old. Just funny how young he sounds there. That youthful angst that comes through. And okay, maybe not teenage angst, but angst nonetheless. So these lyrics here. I've been waiting at the supermarket, standing in line with the beans. Cash up. I've been waiting at the post office for sticky pictures of the Queen. Of course, stamps stick up. And now I'm waiting for you to get yourself good and ready, makeup. Thinking to myself, is this what they mean by going steady, break up? Like, that's the youthful allure, the dating. I've been waiting in the waiting room, and I've been waiting in the sitting room, and now I'm whining in the dining room. That's good. Nice double entendre there, if he's drinking wine. Waiting for you is like waiting for the man in the moon. I was really smoldering, seeing the back of 40 king-size cigarettes. This hanging around is a murder, but if you just come along, I have no regrets. And so I phone your number, but your mother tells me you're still in bed. Get up. When you get to the phone, your voice is thick and sexy, goes straight to my head. He says, he hears her on the phone. He says, oh my. Oh, boy, buddy. Yes, I was really burned out and smoldering, seeing the back and front. Oh, we've read that part. If you just creep along, I'd have no regrets. And so I call your grandmother. She says you're still in bed. When you get on the phone, oh, that voice is there. And he's just waiting for them to meet up, and whatever happens next is whatever happens next. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Boredom. That's that sticky snarkiness.
Because I never get around to things. I live a straight line, you know me, I'm acting dumb. You know the scene very drum. Boredom.
Ooh, little chorus. I like how they sing that part.
Boredom. You see, there's nothing that's so beyond me. I'm already a has-been, because my future ain't what it was. When I think I know what that I mean. You hear me, I'm acting dumb. You know the scene of very boredom. Ba-dum.
To a solo? We're getting a solo here? bass change.
I've taken this extravagant journey, or so it seems to me. I just came up from nowhere, and I'm going straight back there. You know me, I'm acting dumb. You know the scene very humdrum. Boredom.
There's a little space.
Yes, I am living in this movie, but it doesn't move me. So tell me, who are you trying to arouse? I get you right out of my trousers. You know me, I'm acting dumb. You know the scene of very humdrum. Boredom.
I love how they play the chorus in this. I love how they go into a little bit of more of a melodic, you know, bottom, bottom, and then there's that quick snare fill, then the space, and then they fill it with whatever they want. There's a vocalization at one point. There's those quick drum fills, and then there's not a guitar solo that happens, but there is that guitar lead that comes up, which you heard at the end. The beep, 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 beep. This is probably, I think, the best track at this point. There's only 4, but like this track, I feel like it has the perfect mix of that early angst, but at the same time that catchiness. Great fast up tempo like playing from the instrumentation, the drums especially, which I can't help but pay attention to. The guitar has some growl to it. It just kind of has everything in a fast, catchy but punky package that works really well. And the lyrics, I mean, yeah, well, I say what I mean. I say what comes to my mind because I never get around to things. I live in a straight line. You know me, I'm acting dumb. You know the scene very humdrum. Boredom. He's bored, but guess what? He's going to say what he says and do what he do. And now I'm living in this movie and it doesn't move me. I love that little play. And I've been waiting for the phone to ring. Hear it ring, anything. Just ringing. You know me, I'm acting dumb. You see, there's nothing that's behind me. I'm already a has-been. That is such a good line. I'm already a has-been. I'm already done. I'm already over. So there's nothing behind me. Because my future ain't what it was. Well, I think I know the words that I mean. I'm taking this extravagant journey, or so it seems to me. I just came from nowhere and I'm going straight back there. You know me, I'm acting dumb. You see, I'm living in this movie, but it doesn't move me. I gotta give him one of these.
Please clap.
And then, so tell me who you're trying to arouse. Get your hand out of my trousers. Don't try to get a rise out of me in any respect. I'm bored. Let me be. Let's move on to the final track here, which is Friends of Mine.
Breathing out a laurel leaf, her grass pays my pie. She's going to leave me on the mountain path as the cross fly. Her blood is pretty quick off the mud like a forest with sun heat. She's like 100 miles an hour and rush you off your feet. There are these are friends of mine, they're going to suffer in. They don't take a line, they give me piss and adrenaline. Ratty is an alien, it looks like a pre-run like a freaker. Potatoes, jewelry, got a cast of personality. Sunny words, a lot of such as friend of Mr. Acapulco. She's giving out of my mind, I want to live on milk. There are these are friends of mine, they're going to suffer in. They don't take a line, they give me piss and adrenaline.
Guitar's gonna scratch, just bouncing in there. Kind of like the sound of that guitar.
On the pool, I just performance passive pairs. Well, Betty to my now with puzzle eating at potato pears. Norman Somio's makeup's a runaway of himself. He's in for an early grave, scared to death outside of his health. There are these are friends of mine, they're got me suffering. They don't take a line, they give me piss and adrenaline. They give me piss and adrenaline. They say me in
This is the spiral. Lots of spiral. And that little phasing kind of sound on the side. Right there, right? Shelley on the guitar, he in this track is definitely living up to the name of the album, Spiral Scratch, because his guitar, especially on the second half, is just incredibly scratchy. It sounds like scraping on metal. Like it has some sort of sound like that, which I think is kind of interesting texturally. And then on the back half, even to the side of that, you hear this like, I'm assuming it's guitar. I just don't know what's being done, but there's this, I mean, I don't know what that sound is, but it's something that's happening over here alongside with that guitar. And then when Howard's singing on this one, his delivery is always like, right? But here, it almost sounds like in certain moments, he goes either faster than the actual rhythm or like off with the rhythm, but then he very quickly gets back on the horse and rides it down this fiery path of punk music, which I think is really interesting. And I like that how punk doesn't need to obey the rules. It doesn't need to follow exactly certain structures. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that kind of what punk music is in its history and kind of came from? Is everyone was doing, there's more complicated, complex, popular music. And this was really just something with a message, an attitude, bare bones, and to bring it down to its simplest elements and just put it out there, right? I think that that's kind of like the history in a sense, perhaps, I don't know. But I feel like this kind of gets to that, right? Forget the structure, forget rhyming perfectly and hitting the notes perfectly and all that stuff. Just put it out there. Just put it out there, see what happens. At least you can't say that we didn't put it out there, say what we meant and try, right? And I feel like that spirit definitely comes about in this track. But the guitar is just incredibly scratchy on here. Rita spits out her laurel leaf and grabs a piece of my pie. She's going to lead me up the mountain path as the crows fly. Claudette's pretty quick off the mark like a Polaris missile in heat. She smiles at 100 miles an hour and brushes you off your feet. There's all these friends of mine, they've got me suffering. They don't take a line, they keep me pissing adrenaline. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Ratty is a nearly unique. It looks like a pre-Raphaelite Barb freak. Wears dangerous jewelry, got a cast iron personality. Sandy wears an awful lot of silk, says she's a friend of Mr. Acrobilk. She's going out of my mind, she wants to live on milk. I was musing on the pool outdoors about foreign matters and fancy affairs, while Betty trimmed my nails with pliers while eating avocado pears. Norman's sobbing because his makeup's a run away with itself. He's heading for an early grave, scared to death about the state of his health. They see me in bad shape, the shape I'm in. They bug me in the shape I'm in. They see me suffering. So are these good friends or are these not good friends? Is he talking about the company he keeps and that they're not the most ideal people he wants to be around? Or what is it? I mean, he says they got me suffering, but is that because of them or is this because of him? They don't take a line. They keep me pissing on adrenaline. I actually have no idea. Let's look at some of the information for this to see if there is anything about this track or about the album in general. The EP, I should say, rather. It says Spiral Scratch and the album Time's Up are the only Buzzcocks studio releases with original singer Howard Devoto. It reached number 31 in the UK singles chart. That's kind of interesting. They recorded the tracks in 1976 in Manchester. According to Devoto, it took 3 hours to record and another 2 for mixing. The music was roughly recorded, insistently repetitive and energetic. It's definitely energetic. The band, having no record label support, had to borrow about £750 from their friends and families to pay the record's production and manufacture. It was released on their own label, making Buzzcocks the first English punk group to establish an independent record label. Despite this, the disc quickly sold out of its initial run of 1,000 copies and went on to sell 16,000 copies, initially by mail order, but also with the help of the Manchester branch of music's chain store Virgin, whose manager took some copies and persuaded other regional branch managers to follow suit. That's good. That's a great success for them. Like their initial copies, 1,000, gone. Then they needed Virgin to help them, 16,000 more, gone. Boredom, probably the EP's most well-known track, announced Punk's rebellion against the status quo while templating a strident musical minimalism. Of course, the guitar solo consisting of 2 notes. At the same time, the lyrics already showed boredom with the movement itself. Like we're starting the movement, but the movement is already boring. Already has been indeed. Devoto left the band, of course, saying, "I got bored very easily, and that boredom can act as a catalyst for me to suddenly conceive and execute a new vocation." That's hilarious. This was fun to listen to. I mean, I really do think Boredom is probably the best track on this EP, very, very easily, but it's so short and it's so good. I'm very happy with it as a whole. Very enjoyable listen. Mr. Brad, thank you so much for the sponsorship, and thank you for recommending this EP to me. And thank you to all the rest of you who have also suggested one of this one. Of course, you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Follow me in a few different places. Thank you for being here. Press the like button before you head out, and I will see you later.